Two of the grounds put forward by Palestine Action were rejected by the High Court this morning, but two were accepted. The two that were successful were that the decision by the former Home Secretary Yvette Cooper to seek an order proscribing, banning Palestine Action was made by the Home Secretary in breach of her own policy. And the second one on which they succeeded was the decision to ban Palestine Action was contrary to the Human Rights Act, in particular Article 10, which guarantees freedom of expression, and Article 11, which allows freedom of association. But as you've said, and the court went to some lengths to stress this, because it was expected that the present Home Secretary would appeal, as indeed you've reported she is seeking to do, the ban remains in force, certainly until the question of an appeal is considered by the High Court, and probably, I think, until the case actually reaches the Court of Appeal and the Court of Appeal has the chance to reach a decision.
And would you explain to us, Joshua, how if the court has acknowledged, these in the words of the Home Secretary here, that Palestine Action has carried out acts of terrorism, how it is unlawful for it to be prescribed as a terror group?
In a word, there are restrictions on how you go about banning a group. Just because some of its members have, in the Home Secretary's words, carried out acts of terrorism, it doesn't follow that you are allowed to ban the entire group. Now, in a little bit more detail, the court concluded, this is the first ground on which Palestine Action was successful, the court concluded that the purpose of the then Home Secretary's policy was to she had to give her reasons for meaning that any person supporting Palestine Action should be prevented from doing so. She relied on the fact that banning Palestine Action would be advantageous because it would mean that the offences could be used against anybody who supported Palestine Action, and we've seen all these arrests, and that wasn't a sufficient ground for proscribing it. The second one was that it was disproportionate. A very small number of Palestine Action's activities amounted to acts of terrorism within the definition of Section 1 of the Terrorism Act, and those could be dealt with under the general criminal law. The nature and scale of Palestine Action's activities falling within the definition of terrorism had not yet reached the level, scale and persistence to warrant proscription.